Hi there. If you are doing great work in the world, but you are struggling to sell, share, promote, market, tell people about your thing, your product, your program, your course, your whatever it is that you're selling, then this video is for you. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about three things. So the first one is the one truth that I have found to be so ridiculously accurate that if it is ignored, nothing else you do is going to work. So we're going to talk about that. Number two is there is nuance between different human design types, of course. So we're going to talk about, I'm going to run through those briefly. And then the third is if you are like wanting to understand how to actually step towards greater ease and like alignment with selling. After you've heard this information, you're like, well, that's great in theory, but like, how do I actually do that? Then I'm going to cover that in point number three. And if we haven't met before, I'm Carolyn Southwell. I'm a 2/4 emotional projector, and I've spent more than a decade supporting people of all human design configurations to live true to their design in all aspects of life. So there was a comment on this video. I'll pop it up here afterwards. It was a projector Q&A about selling. But my answer for this is going to be relevant for you regardless of which human design type you are. I'm answering the question in such a way that it's useful to more people. And I'm going to read the question here. They had said, I think I struggle with the lead them to the next step thing. That feels like, and I'm just going to check these words here, that feels like a language technique, and I'm not sure I've mastered that yet. So when I saw this comment come in, I was like, wow, there are so many misconceptions about this, and I understand this because I have seen so much business advice from so many people over the last 13 years of being in business, and I completely appreciate that not everything is right for every person. And as somebody who's trained in NLP a very long time ago, I understand there is so much that we can do with language. And sometimes even when you get the words right, it still is not going to get the result that you want. So number one, the one thing that I have found to be absolutely true that we cannot ignore is that if you believe in your work and you are selling to the right people, it almost doesn't matter what you say. When I get on these live, like, yes, I've got some notes and yes, I've spent some time thinking about what it is that I want to say. But once I'm on, I'm just being myself and I am just telling you what feels like the most me words to come out of my mouth, right? I'm not thinking about the exact right language patterns to use because what I discovered through studying NLP is like, it's not very authentic. What is way more useful is to be yourself and make sure that you believe in your work and that you are selling to the people who need and want what you have. And then you can just like be yourself and trip over your words and sneak in some Dr. Seuss and whatever inspires you, you be you. And conversely, if you don't believe in yourself or your work, and/or you're selling to the wrong audience, that is people who aren't ready for your work, who don't want it, who don't need it, then it doesn't matter if you have the most well-polished, well-manicured, perfect script and you're saying all the right words, you probably will struggle to make even a bare minimum of sales. Okay? So that's the first thing I want you to understand. Now, the second thing is to understand that there is some nuance in human design. And in fact, of course, if you know a little bit about human design, you'll know that there are circuits, there are so many different layers and levels of detail in your chart. And I want to make this video as useful for the newbie as the advanced person. So the person who's been playing with human design for a long time, you know. We can go into gates and channels and circuits. We can look at color and tone. We can look at all sorts of things. But if you're a newbie, just to speak broadly and say, there is so much in your chart that makes you different to every other person. And all of that is going to be expressed in the way that you are designed to sell. But if we just look at the level of type, I want to run through 5 very broadly speaking about the types. So if you are a manifestor, it is correct for you to sell. You are most authentic and most powerful when you just inform people. This is what I'm offering. This is how you can buy it. Full stop. The end. There's no convincing, there's no like clever questions. It's just you stating the facts of what's possible, making sure that you're stating your perspective, your way of seeing the world, and why you're offering this thing at this time and how people can buy it. And if they have questions or they need things from you, where your boundaries are around that. Let's talk about generators. So as a generator, you are designed to do work you love. And what we want to see if we are buying from you as a generator is we want to see that enthusiasm, that excitement exude from you. And when you are like aligned and excited by your work, not only can the rest of us feel it and see it written all over your face, but you will, as a sacral being, naturally ask lots of questions. So if I'm looking at your sales page on your website, or in your copy that you might have in other places, I'm probably going to see lots of questions. That's great. And your ideal client, as they move through those various questions, is going to get a yes, yes, yes. That's perfect. Now, if you're a manifesting generator, you are going to have a lot of similarities to the generators, of course. But what I want you to think about this. Let's say you are doing a video as a manifesting generator. What I expect to see is you grinning like a Cheshire cat, laughing happily, happy, bubbling, like the energy is like pouring out of you. You're like a kid at Christmas. You are bursting to tell us all about this thing that you're selling, and it just feels like play to you. You're like, I can't believe I get paid to do this. I'm so excited for you to have this thing. It should be this like playful puppy energy, right? If that's how you're feeling, great. If you're not feeling that way when you go to sell, then you have two questions to ask yourself. One, do I believe in myself and what I'm selling? And like another side of that comes to mind is like, do I think that what I'm selling people is truly going to help people? Now, that's part of your belief in your work. So if you don't believe that it's truly going to help people and that you can truly help people, then you need to go back to the drawing board. The other thing is you might be selling something that's really helpful, but you're just not excited about it. And if you're just not excited about it as a Mani-Gen, you need to give it up and find the next thing that you are ready to sell that you are excited about. Okay. Projectors, my beloved projectors. There are so many things I could say. There is an entire playlist on projectors. If you are new to me and you haven't binged the projector playlist, I'll post it here later today. Then have a binge through that. But the most important thing I want you to know is if you don't deeply recognize yourself, then it is incredibly hard for you to be the magnet that attracts all of the right people that you could be serving and helping and guiding and directing and supporting and sharing with and empowering and all the things. So your number one job, if you find as a projector that you are trying to convince anybody of anything, is to stop, look in the mirror, and convince the person who's looking back at you. That is your number one job. Because once you are convinced that you are great, that your work is great, then you can just stand in your power and go, here's what I have to offer. And you can explain it in the way that it authentically comes out of your mouth. And the right people will buy from you. The people who are here to recognize and value and like want you, need you. And then it doesn't matter what the words are. Okay. But you have to recognize and value yourself first. Okay. Reflectors. It is a delightful reflector to watch, is one who is really attuned to the ever shifting energy around them. If you as a reflector can be operating in what's true for you, and I'm doing this, I'm always curious with my hands of like what's happening, of like disengaging yourself from the conditioning, from the not self behavior, from all of the things that is like all the energy that's not yours. It's like I want to like take the energy and take it away. If you can be doing that as a reflector, then you can be doing this thing that none of the rest of us can do, which is have a real awareness of what's happening in the collective, and you can tell us about it. And you can sell us products and services and programs and all the things that will help resolve the problem that you see in the collective. And if in doubt, if that you're struggling with all the energy of all the things, or you're struggling with clarity about what exactly to sell and how exactly to say it, then go deep into nature. Get away from all the humans. Go hang out in the ocean, surrounded by trees, surrounded by desert, surrounded by life that is not conditioned humans, and give yourself some time, and then you'll find that clarity again. Okay, now if you find this video helpful so far, we're going to go on to point number 3. But if you are finding it helpful, please give this video a like, because it is going to tell YouTube to go and share it with more people who could benefit from this content. Thank you so much. Now, point number 3. Let's have a quick look. How to step into ease in selling and promoting and sharing and telling people what you do and what they can buy from you. If you have listened to this info and you're like, well, this is great in theory, but I don't believe in myself. I don't believe in my work. I don't think that anything I do is good enough. Or you're like, oh yeah, but I'm struggling to follow my strategy, struggling to follow my inner authority. I don't have clarity. Or maybe it's both. Maybe you're struggling with both. Then the number one thing that you need to put your attention on, in my very professional, experienced opinion, is on understanding how to decondition. It's understanding how to peel away all of the things slowly, one at a time, that are not yours, so that you can then have the clarity and the confidence to go, this is who I am, this is who it's for, this is what I'm selling, and here's how you buy it. Yeah? So deconditioning is a process that happens over time. There are so many different ways now that we can do it. And what I can tell you is, over the last decade or more of really actively being an active participant in deconditioning and supporting people to do the same, that I have found that there are very few that work safely, gently, and effectively. And what I did was I took everything that I have learned from tapping, and I've created a modality that I have called trauma-informed tapping, because the idea is that it's safe and gentle and it meets each person where they're at. Now, the way to learn that from me at the moment, and I've put a link in the video description, is at carolinsouthwell.com/coaching. And you're looking for the appointment type called trauma-informed tapping, where you can come and learn that in a private one-on-one setting with me. And if you're like, yeah, Carolyn, I'd prefer to learn in a course or a group program, then jump on my email list, which is also linked in the description. And I'll also copy the description into a pinned comment if you find that helpful. So that'll be up later today. If you jump on the email list, that is always the very first place, and sometimes the only place, that I will share new products and programs and ways to learn this together in a group, or at a lower price, or self-paced, or, if you're somebody who's on the other side of the world and all of my spots where I do coaching is at 2:00 in the morning for you, then I'm going to be creating ways for you to do that in the very near future. And if you are really, really new to my work and you're like, Carolyn, that's all wonderful, thanks so much for teaching me, but I need to see some more from you, and you want to get a better sense of me and my way of being, then afterwards I'm going to put on screen here probably the tapping playlist, so that you can binge your way through some of that content and get a sense of whether or not I'm the right person and it's the right tool for you. Thanks so much for being here.